So here are these four things that can happen, and we can get these next, couple of phases. We can get deeper, further, faster when we do this well. Right? We can get deeper in training and deeper in their experience. So here are four things we think can happen. And if you have more, we'd love to hear it. Right, so here they are. I'm going to give you the list. We'll talk through them very quickly. Number one is onboarding. There are onboarding steps that can, should, and need to happen during this phase. We'll give a couple examples here in a minute. That's one. Two is training. Some potential training during this preparation phase. There's things that that can work and things that don't work as well there. So training is a possibility. Three is culture. We have opportunity to build culture around our ministry during this preparation phase. And four is community. We know how much this matters to these summer staff. Community is one of the things that the data says they need to thrive in addition to support an agency. We can start to build that community in this preparation phase. So those are the four steps: onboarding, training, culture, and community. All right, we'll hit a couple. Jake, so onboarding, let me just check the onboarding box. There are onboarding things that can happen, right? There is paperwork, and thankfully a lot of this is electronic now for the most part. And so there are a lot of the paperwork things that can happen, that should happen, can happen in this phase. The main reason I bring this up is because there's still lots of camps. They end up having to take an entire afternoon, sometimes even more, of staff training for people to go fill out the HR paperwork. So much of this onboarding can happen now in advance. It is worth the time to, whether it's, connect with other resources or build these things electronically, build them in. Most camp management systems have them now, but if you're not using one of those that kind of builds this in, there are other ways to do it too. So get this onboarding stuff. Let me just check this box. Get as much of this onboarding stuff done as you can. Get the paperwork done now.
Absolutely. Yep.
Because of how valuable your in-person training time is. So this can happen. So that's one. We'll just hit that one quick. Training is two. Jake, hop in here in a second, but training is two. There are training things that can happen in advance. And we'll make a quick distinction of what makes sense here, but there are things that can happen in advance that, again, are a little bit checkbox, are a little bit, hey, we know we have to do this at some point. There may be policies that they can look at and read up on. There may be other pieces that they can do, either, an online training or something like that can check a couple of these boxes in advance. Now, the caveat here is, and we'll say this probably again, this training in this phase is not replacement in any way for valuable in-person staff training. The most impactful staff training happens in person. Don't replace things that shouldn't be done in this kind of digital space, anything not in-person space that should happen in person. That's really important.
I would reframe this even into like preparation for training. Like this is a taste. This is a dip your toe in. This is a, do these things so that when you come, you're prepared. It's sort of like doing the reading before you come to class and talk about the book and things like that. So there's a lot of things that you can get into your future summer staff's hands and in front of their faces and their eyes to really help prepare them for what they're going to experience during staff training. It is not a replacement. Do not say, oh, I've got this online training module and it's, vetted by this expert online training. That's one of the modules actually. And that means that we don't have to do, risk management during staff training because they're going to do it ahead of time. And so we can check that box and then spend our staff training time in person doing something else. No. Do both. And you can do the risk management thing as a preparation and then also do it in person. And so think of this as a supplement and not a replacement. Okay. So there's some things that you can do in advance, but there are some things that you only want to do in person because we believe that in person matters. Okay. So what are some of those things that you can prep them for? What about prepping them for the way that you guys do devotions, the way that you do mealtime prayers? Giving them some of those things in advance so they can start prepping with those things. How about some Bible study things? How about some ways that they interact with campers? Like all of these different things that they can work on and get into some of the rhythm of camp before they actually get there so that they're familiar with some of these things. You can do virtual tours. You can do other things that help them understand the places and the names and things like that. So there's things that you can do in training.
Yeah.